All right. Hello. Sorry for the technical difficulties we had there. I wasn't sure if the video started, and it did. Look at that. Okay, guys, we are down here at Arithmetic Sequences today, and we're going to be starting on page 36. So if you'll go ahead and write this in your table of contents, and then go ahead and flip over to that page 36, we're going to have some fun and do some learning. All right, so on page 36, we're going to do some arithmetic sequences. Here we go. Listen up. Go ahead and pause and write this down, and we're going to have someone explain it to you.
Okay, so I went ahead and I wrote a lot of this today so that way I could cut back on the video time. So you're just going to have to pause and write and fill in when you need to fill in. Everything in black I have pre-written, and then I'm going to write in green with what we are doing. So for an arithmetic sequence, the thing that you need to know is that this is a sequence in which the difference between any two consecutive terms is constant. Consecutive means right next to each other, and constant means the same. Okay, when you're doing an arithmetic sequence, you're looking to find a common difference. A common difference is just the numerical difference, and we recognize that as D between two consecutive terms, so two numbers right next to each other. So after you've paused that, go ahead and make sure that you have written this part too. And the first few questions on your worksheet today are going to look very similar to this. They're going to say, are they arithmetic? And you're just going to say yes or no. And if you say yes, what is the difference? So you just have to tell me what D equals. Okay, so to figure out if they are arithmetic, what you are going to do, you're going to look at the number. While you're looking at the number, all you're doing is looking to see, are they going up or are they going down? If the numbers are going up, you need to take the second number and subtract the first number to see how it's changing. So if you don't know 5 minus 1 in your head, I guess you can grab a calculator. But hopefully you know that 5 minus 1 is 4. So since this is going up, I am increasing by 4. So then let's check to make sure. 5 plus 4 gives me 9, so that's still arithmetic. And 9 plus 4 gives me 13. So since they're a plus 4 each time, that means I do have a constant difference. So yes, this is arithmetic, and my difference is 4. You don't have to write the positive sign if you don't want to. Okay, for 2, I'm looking 5, 10, 20, 40. Okay, again, my numbers are going up, so I'm going to subtract here. 10 minus 5, I'm going to be adding 5. So 5 plus 5 is 10. Now I got to see if I add 5 again if I get to the next term. If I do 10 plus 5, I do not get to 20. So this does not work. So no, this is not arithmetic. Now I'm going to go to the next one. I have 8, 6, 4, and 2. This time my numbers are decreasing. If your numbers are getting smaller, take the first number and subtract the second number. So 8 minus 6 gives me 2. Since I am decreasing, I put negative 2. So 8 minus 2 gives me 6. Let's see if it keeps working. 6 minus 2 gives me 4. 4 minus 2 gives me 2. So this works good. So we put yes. And our difference this time, you do have to put the sign, is negative 2 because we are decreasing. Okay. Now, if you will go ahead, I'm going to pull this down, and if you will pause and write those next few things for me. In this section, what we're going to do is they are all going to be arithmetic. So you just have to figure out what the difference is and then tell me the next 3 terms. So if you look at 9, 13, 17, and 21, my numbers are getting bigger. So what you're going to do is, if you don't know the math in your head, just grab your calculator. You're going to take, since they're getting bigger, the second number minus the first number. And it's changing by 4. And since the numbers are getting bigger, that's a positive 4. So now you just need to check to make sure. Is 13 plus 4 17? Oop, it is. And is 17 plus 4 21? Since they are, all you have to do is keep adding 4. So 21 plus 4 is 25. 25 plus 4 is 29. And 29 plus 4 is 33. Okay. For the next one, 5, 2, negative 1, negative 4, This went from having positives to negatives, so that means it's getting smaller. When it's getting smaller, take your first number and subtract the second number, and that tells you what your difference is. Since they're getting smaller, you need to make sure that you subtract. So now just check to make sure. Is 2 minus 3? Helps if I write the right thing. Is 2 minus 3 negative 1? Yes, it is. Is negative 1 minus 3 negative 4? Yes, it is. So it is subtracting 3 each time. So now just continue on the pattern. We're going to do negative 4 minus 3, which gives me negative 7. Can't figure out where I want to put my calculator. And then we're going to do negative 7 minus 3, which gives me negative 10. And then we're going to do negative 10 minus 3, which gives me negative 13. Okay, from here, the next one, we have negative 8, negative 2, 4, and 10. If you look, I start negative and I get positive. So that means my numbers are getting bigger. If your numbers are getting bigger, take the second term and subtract the first term. Watch your signs. It is a double negative. So that means it's changing by 6. And since my numbers are getting bigger, I'm adding 6. So you just need to make sure, is negative 2 plus 6 4? And it is. Is 4 plus 6 10? Yes, it is. So now 10 plus 6 is 16. 16 plus 6 is 22. And 22 plus 6 is 28. And there's all your answers for that. Okay, again, I need you to go ahead and pause. And I would like for you to write this bottom part for me. Okay, once you have it written, unpause and I will teach you how to solve this. This box right here is extremely important. We're talking about the arithmetic sequence formula. The formula is really confusing if you don't listen to me and know what each thing means. A sub n is just talking about any term in the sequence. So if I want to find the 9th term, I could put 9 in n spot and solve. Okay, d times n minus 1 plus a sub 1. D stands for the difference, where a sub 1 stands for the very first term in the sequence. Okay, so you need to know D is the difference and A sub 1 is the first term. My instructions, and you have to actually read your paper because your instructions will be a little different on your worksheet. You need to write the rule and then find the nth term. So that means the first thing you gotta do is come up with a formula. After you do that, you're gonna find A sub 19. Now remember, if you look over here, I have A sub n, and now I have A sub 19. That just means wherever I see n, I'm gonna replace it with 19 and I'm gonna solve. But I can't do that until I have my rule. So if you look at this sequence, negative 11, negative 8, negative 5, and negative 2, your numbers are all negative, but if you notice, they're getting bigger as they go. Since they're getting bigger, you're going to take negative 8 and subtract negative 11 to figure out your difference. Your difference is a plus 3. From negative 8 plus 3 gives you negative 5, and negative 5 plus 3 gives you negative 2. So first thing I need you to know, your A sub 1, that is the very first term of the sequence. The very first term is negative 11. And then I need you to know D, which is your difference, and your difference is 3. Once you know those two things, all you have to do is come over here and plug your rule in. We're going to keep A sub n because we're not plugging in n until the second step. So I'm going to keep A sub n. I have D. Oh, wait. Not D. I know what D is. I'm going to replace that with a 3. So then I'm going to do 3 times. I'm going to keep the n minus 1 because remember, we're not plugging n in until the second step. And then plus, and my A sub 1 is negative 11. So I'm just plugging in the two things I know. Now, all you have to do is distribute and solve. So I'm going to keep A sub n. 3 times n is 3n. And 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And I still have that plus negative 11. Now I combine my two terms that look alike. So I still have A sub n equals, I still have 3n. And negative 3 and negative 11 make negative 14. This is my rule. Now what I do is I take that A sub 19, and remember that 19 took the place of n. So if you need to write this, 19 equals n. You're just going to come down here into your rule, and we're going to find A sub 19. A sub 19 just means we're going to do 3 times 19 minus 14. Okay, I don't need you to do that in your head. You can grab your calculator. We're going to do 3 times 19 and then minus 14, which gives me 43. So I'm going to circle that. I boxed my step 1 and I circled my step 2. So that way it's easy for me to find the answer. Okay, for the second problem, we're going to do the exact same thing. I have 192, 83, 74. So now my numbers are getting smaller. So if they're getting smaller, take the first number and subtract the second number. So not 100, 101 minus 92. And that gives me a difference of 9. And since I'm decreasing, it's negative 9. Well, 92 minus 9 gives me 83. 83 minus 9 gives me 74. So I have a constant difference. So the first thing I need you to tell me is your a sub 1, your first term. Your first term is 101. And then the next thing I need you to tell me is what your difference is, and your difference was negative 9. From here, we're just going to plug this rule in right here where my finger's at, and we're going to keep a sub n equals, instead of having d, we're going to put negative 9, open parentheses, n minus 1. And then we're going to do plus, and a sub 1 is 101. From here, you just need to distribute and solve. So I keep a sub n equals, and negative 9 times n is negative 9n, and negative 9 times negative 1 is positive 9. Bring down plus 101. Now the 9 and the 101 combine, so I have a sub n equals negative 9n plus 110. Okay, this is my rule. And now I want to find a sub 19. So I'm going to replace that n with 19, and I'm going to do negative 9 times 19 plus 10. I'm going to grab my calculator. I don't want to do that in my head. We're going to do negative 9 times 19. Why'd I put plus 10? That's a plus 110. So plus 110. Write your answer in, and you should get 61. And I'm going to circle that because that is my second answer, which gives me a different term. It's a negative 61. I missed that. So negative 61. Okay, if you have any questions, please let us know.